The Louisiana State Police Department has a long history of troubling complaints that its officers too often resort to using excessive force during arrests. The most recent and most high-profile case is the killing of Ronald Greene. Ronald was a black man who died after an encounter with Louisiana State troopers. Police initially reported that Ronald died in a car crash, but video footage revealed something different. It showed troopers shocking, choking, and beating him. After Ronald's death, the governor of Louisiana brought in Lamar Davis to change the culture in the department. He sat down in a one-on-one interview with BNC's Jamiese to explain how he plans to turn things around.
Louisiana State Police thrust in the national spotlight following the deadly arrest of Ronald Greene, a black man beaten by troopers. The agency initially told Greene's family he died in a police pursuit that ended with a crash, but body cam video of the arrest showed what happened.
And I beat the ever-living out of him, choked him and everything else trying to get him under control.
Colonel Lamar Davis is trying to clean up the agency.
One of the major things that we had was obviously the death of Ronald Greene.
Governor Bel Edwards appointed Colonel Davis as Superintendent of State Police more than a year after Ronald Greene's death.
That's something that was really traumatic, not only just for our personnel in our agency, but for our communities.
2 years later, the community and Greene's family still have questions about the investigation.
Was this case handled properly in your opinion?
Well, I can tell you this. I wasn't there while that case was being investigated. I was in another part of the department. Based upon what I've seen or what I saw, there were some things that could have been done differently, and I made some changes as a result of that. You know, one of the immediate changes was changing that commander out of that troop.
But there are calls from the black community for more to be done.
I can't change history. I can't go back and conduct an investigation that is underway by other agencies. So I've got to trust, and the citizens, I'm asking them to trust the federal authorities and trust those investigating agencies to do their job. But I should not be sitting on the sideline either, and that's why these changes are so important.
And those changes start with new policies for the agency. There's now a ban on chokeholds, the use of impact weapons to the head or neck area, and it's mandated that all troopers carry less than lethal options.
When you show up to the scene and you only have a weapon or a pistol on the side, then that causes people to go from, well, maybe hand to hand or verbal to going directly to that weapon. Well, if we put something in between that may not cause death, then that gives us a chance to really maximize, come out of that situation with the best case scenario without someone dying.
Louisiana State Police also implemented a duty to intervene policy, which requires an officer to safely stop another officer from committing an overt violation of someone's constitutional rights.
If I find that a situation took place and we go back and we review that body-worn camera and find that you did not report, you did not intervene when you could have, then we're going to put forth an investigation into your actions or lack thereof.
But some troopers say the department doesn't support a culture where speaking up is encouraged. Earlier this month, 7-year trooper Carl Cavalier was suspended with the recommendation for termination after he spoke out about the agency. Davis couldn't comment directly on Cavalier's case, but says more people are speaking up.
That culture is already shifting and changing, 1. 2, when you have a situation that's already been reported, and I mean it's been reported to the highest level, to the federal authorities, then it's going through its process.
In New Orleans, I'm Jamiese Price for Making the Case.
With me now is Ronald Greene's mother, Miss Mona Hardin. Mother Mona, it's good seeing you again. Thank you for coming back on the show.
Hi, good seeing you. Thank you.
I'd like to first get your response to what you just heard from Superintendent Davis.
I find it all shallow. It's words. He started back a year ago, and it's just words. Because if there's any meaning to what's going on and how you feel especially speaking on your own integrity for Louisiana State Troopers, it needs to be more than just words, empty words, because what's going on is just like the culture within the force itself. They don't believe in that, what he's saying. It's very mild, and it's sad that he's not more forceful in things that definitely needs more force going forward, because it stems from the police officers within and the character of the people that's being hired to carry these jobs out. It's, for me, it's a whole total dismantling of what's been going on. The culture itself is just not going to change just for the fact that they replaced Kevin Reeves with Lamar Davis. All these questions should have been addressed well before Kevin Reeves was allowed to retire.
Well, Mother Mona, now Superintendent Davis, he said he made some changes to the department, but he also said that the investigation into the department happened before he took over, so there isn't much he can do. Do you buy that?
No,
should he be doing more?
I think it's just horrible that he would even say that. It's like what happened before him doesn't even matter because they let Kevin Reeves retire. That's a closed and shut case, and I can't talk about it. So what they're saying is all the violations, unjustified killings, and injuries that they've done to so many black communities, within the black communities, are out of his reach. There's nothing I can do about it. And so what? Do they just turn their back on that? It doesn't show a person of integrity speaking like that. Those before and what's happening now. He needs to really step up. And if he wants people to recognize the policing, and I am not against policing, not by a long shot. No ways. But the thing is, you want your community to look at your police officers and embrace them, respect them. They're there for everyone, to protect the community, not to harm communities of color. And what's happening continues. I just don't understand how he can continue to do what he says and not to have substantial differences going on to where the communities can say that, and these positive changes can happen moving forward. It's all doable.
Mother Mona, you have valid points. I'm sorry?
I'm sorry. It just seems like as he's speaking, his hands are still tied. His hands are tied. He's speaking, but it seems like his hands are tied.
I mean, like I said, you raise valid points in terms of your questioning his leadership in the department. But in that interview, he also asked the community to trust that the federal law enforcement agencies looking into your son's death, that they're going to be doing their jobs. Do you trust that?
At this point, I have to trust it. We have many options. My hands will never be tied from what I feel I need to do. As Ronnie's mother, I will never stop. I find everything that I've ran into up to this point to be so unfair. It's such a cloud. It's, in my opinion, it's organized crime. And it is for the fact that they're still trying to muffle it down. They're trying to extend it. We're going right now 2.5 years. And no one's been arrested. How do you do that? How do you explain what's happening? And everyone that's been the overseers, the superintendents, the captains, the colonels over these horrid police officers who were involved in killing my son, they were allowed to retire. How do you explain that? How do you explain that the governor just let these guys retire? And then in the midst of all that, you replace that trooper, you put Lamar Davis, he says what he says. I met him. I really want to believe that there's some integrity in there, because we're talking about someone, he has his hands full, no doubt, but he needs to make changes to where it seems to be his true words from within and not someone that's giving him these sentences to rehearse, to give to the public, and no one's buying it. It's not just me.
Changes that certainly are long overdue. Mona Hardin, who we lovingly call Mother Mona, thank you again for your time tonight.